Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. I'm your host, Marty. So, the Indiana Fever, probably to me, is the most sought after, the most talked about franchise in WNBA history right now. And that goes to their leadership at the top. Not just the owner who owns the team, but their president, Kelly Krauskopf. When Kelly was back at Indiana back in the day, she built the team in her image. And it's something I think I'm gonna do probably Saturday. I'm gonna do a video looking at that championship team and the quality of players that they had on that team to make that run with Tamika Catchy, and see what this year's team, if they mirror them as the same way and have this, are they on the same projected success as the championship team? So that's gonna be a pretty interesting video when I get to it. But nonetheless, Kelly came back from after being over there with the Indiana Pacers, helping building that franchise, making trades, drafting Tyrese Halliburton. They had Sabonis over there. They traded him to Sacramento to get some more pieces over there. They kept Miles Turner, so forth and so on. So transition from last year where the Indiana Fever drafted Caitlin Clark, #1 overall, and she became Rookie of the Year. She led the league in so many different records, and she helped her team reach the postseason that they haven't been in some time, along with former rookie Aaliyah Boston and veteran Kelsey Mitchell. But nonetheless, Kelly sat down with Sportico today, and she talked about the all-season moves. She talked about the things that they needed to do to get better. What was their outlook on the team when she got there? How they was going to capitalize on the young talent that they already have. So, and it said that Caitlin Clark's Fever boss sees America's team potential. So we already, dubbed this team as America's team because, like I said before, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to play in Indiana. So in this article, she sat down. She says about winning. When she first got hired for the job in the press conference, because we already know that Lynn Dunn was the GM, but Lynn Dunn didn't do anything. She gave away high salary contracts to players that really didn't deserve it. Should have kept them on a 1-year deal, had minimum contracts, could have saved a lot of the salary cap. The Fever could have hit on a big name in free agent if they had the cap space. But nonetheless, we still did good. So, she said her plan was to return us to the level of consistency on and off the court. Development continues. 2, the Fever now lead the WNBA in sponsorship deals with more than 75, according to Sponsor United data. And that's very interesting. They're the only team that leads the league in sponsorship deals, and they probably might. Not probably, but they will continue on to get more of these deals because of the success of the team. And the success of the team is going to hinder on winning games, making a playoff, most likely get to the championship. And they're going to have a lot of attention, a lot of eyes going to be on them, especially to see how this team going to start the 2025 season. She also said that they're already looking into a new practice facility that will open in 2027. We already covered that pretty much. record high season and ticket sales as well. Um, she says she wants this team to be the leader in the country and enduring brand like Apple, she said. And that's very interesting because if your focus is to put this team as up there with Apple and all of these other leaders, that means that you is really investing everything, every resources that you can to build this team to be a success. Like even though the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL is still the America's team, but they're the most richest and storied franchise. Now they haven't been winning. They have some winning seasons, but they haven't made it to the big dance. But they have had successful regular season. If you look at baseball, like the Yankees has been one of the top names, them and the Dodgers, but I think the Yankees is the most historical team in baseball. And because of their longevity, they haven't won in some years, but last year they made a splash to come back. It's all about putting resources together. You look at the LA Dodgers the same way, Atlanta Braves the same way. So now you look at the Kansas City Chiefs in football, same way. College football, different teams, what I'm saying? Alabama been on top for some years, but now, no change in the guard. So if you want to be in that top tier of sports as the number one sports team in your profession, this is how you start. You're investing a lot of time and energy into this to really make sure that your team becomes that success. And like I said, I don't think it would have been possible if they didn't draft Caitlin Clark. That's just my thing, because I think other teams would have got her and they probably would have capitalized on her star potential, even though they the Fever had Aaliyah Boston. But Caitlin Clark, having her and what she brings to the game helps elevate that franchise even more and bring them back to a place where they haven't been in a long time. So she says she remembers the WNBA lean years, franchise hope folding, fight for attention, and respect questions about the league visibility. And that still goes on today about a lot of people talking about the visibility of the team, some of the teams, why the league has struggled for so many years, bad TV deals, bad player play, nobody wanted to watch women's sports, so forth and so on. But as Kelly, she said, you always want to pick the brains of players. She said, I did it with Tamika Catching and others. Catching, a 10-time All-Star, played with the Fever from 2002 to 2016. That's 14 years. And she said, so I think it's smart business to inform some of your key players of some of the targets that you're looking for. It's not necessarily asking them to sign off. It's more of a let's talk about this together. And that's very, very smart, because Aaliyah Boston talked about this a couple of days ago about how they was consulted, and you think Caitlin Clark is the franchise player of that team. You had to sit down and talk to her. You had to see what her head was about Kelsey Mitchell. You had to see what her head was about DeWanna Barton. You had to see what her head was about Natasha Howard. You had to see what her head was about Sydney Colston, which she wanted Sydney Colston. So all of these things play in a factor when you're trying to build a team to make a run for the championship. You don't want to stay pat and say, oh, like I remember years ago when LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh had a chance to come to the Bulls. And Derrick Rose didn't want to advocate for that. He didn't want the team to go out and get them. He didn't want to try to recruit. If he had made that pitch, I think Derrick Rose would have been a WNBA champion with the Bulls. The Bulls would have been able to got 1 or 2 titles out of that deal with LeBron and D Wade doing. But the ownership was a problem, and that's why they didn't sign with them. But you look at what the Indiana Fever has been throughout the years and their leniency throughout the WNBA, hey, it makes more sense for them to, consult one of the top players in the game. So she said every single player that we brought in, those were all intentional moves to add to what we see and what we envision as a successful group plan. That is very key also, because the fact of the matter is you didn't just want anybody. Like we all was talking about the Satu Sabli coming to Indiana, all of this. So we did videos, we did content about it, talk about it. If you listen to this, I don't think Satu was in the cards. Now, she probably was there before, but they probably figured like, hey, we could get somebody a little bit cheaper. We don't have to worry about signing to a long-term deal or her hitting free agency at a young age. Because if they try to go sign her, like I said, she could be in a play next season because the CBA is up and everybody signs a one-year deal. So you look at it from this standpoint, you're like, okay, we got a new facility in 2027. We could go after Satu Sabli and sign her to a long-term deal because there won't be no one-year deals. Now, if she decides that I want to sign another one-year deal, I won't touch her, because the fact of the matter is that she's looking for something else and she's gonna have to contribute. So, but I like the pieces that the Fever had brought in anyway, because they do complement a whole round of range from defense and offensive standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So, but Kelly also said it's not unusual. We've been through it before, and I think everybody in the league understood that these were all going to be short-term deals. See, exactly. They knew this, so they didn't risk making too many big, bold moves to get a player like a Satu Sabli. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted complementary pieces on short-term deals, because then if it work out, then you have a chance to bring these same players back and sign on to longer deals. Because if they win the WNBA title, guess what? You can sign them for longer-term deals and say, hey, let me give you another 2-year deal. Let me give you a 2-year deal. You know what I'm saying? And then you could cut certain players and you could add certain players to your team. You know what I'm saying? So it all makes sense. She said it was the opportunity to really try to put together a group of players that was pretty hungry to win, maybe to prove themselves for themselves as individuals, and that wanted to be here. That's another key too. Proving yourself for yourself, wanting to be a part of a team, winning, and hopefully win a championship and pushing yourself to greater heights. All these players could have went to somewhere else, but playing time could have been a factor too as well. So just like with the Wanda revealed that why she chose Indiana over the Minnesota Lynx or the Phoenix Mercury. Makes sense. So, and she said there were 3 important factors, and knowing that once we got that going, we had a good season, we'll be able to attract more players next year. Bam. Because like I said before, they going to be a hot place next year, even more so this year. Because if they get all the way to the finals and they win the championship, you best believe everybody and their grandmother is going to want to play for the Indiana Fever next year. You look at Satu Sauli, even though she might want to go to New York, she'll probably say, you know what, I'm going to Indiana for long term. Boom, she's still young. You look at, oh man, like I said, it's so many other different factors. You look at LaFisha Carter, and I said this before, and I'm going to stand by it. I think Minnesota's going to do everything they can to sign LaFisha Carter. They want her to stay with that franchise. But if LaFisha Carter feels like they came up short again this year and they get knocked out the playoffs and they don't even reach the title game, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Indiana makes a huge pitch to inquire LaFisha Carter to the Indiana Fever. I'm just telling you. I believe that could be on the table. That could be a potential because you think about it. You get LaFisha, she wants to win a ring. She would do it. I mean, somewhere she played in Minnesota, but going to Indiana in that spotlight. And that's the thing about it. All these players get to experience playing in front of record crowds night in and night out, on the road, at home. You know what I'm saying? You get to be embraced. The official be loved more than ever. And then guess what? She could play her game and don't have to have the pressure of carrying her team. She just come in, play her game, win a ring, and keep it pushing. Like I said, don't be surprised at that move. Don't be surprised. And I'm going to stick it to that. I'm going to leave the link in the description to this article so you can check it out. But until then, until the next episode, Live Wire Sports, and I'm out. Peace.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.